I have your brain scanned and permanently backed up in case something terrible happens to you, which it's just about to.
The next step brings us around to step number 9. In step number 9, we need to find part tree number 20. So we found part tree number 20, and we need to use part number 1 and part number 1. So there's 2 part number 1s. I'm going to go ahead and clean these off. Get the little nubs off. And we're going to install them. So first thing we're going to do, follow the directions, which we missed a step or so ago, and we're going to put a little bit of grease around the axle stub where the bearing goes on, just like so. Use that Team FastEddy dog bone and transmission grease, just like we have been. Stick the bearing on there. Make sure the stub is set in there. And we're going to put this little puppy in. Slide it on. The holes have got to line up there somehow. There's little notches. There we go. Something ain't right. What am I doing wrong here? We'll figure it out. For some reason, it's not sliding all the way on. Somebody out there that knows what I'm doing wrong is laughing, I'm sure. Looks like that bearing is not seating in there properly. There's 2 little nubs on there. It looks like the holes actually here should line up. This way. There we go. That's what it is. We have to line the holes up with the holes. Focus. It's not going to focus, is it? But yeah, the holes here have to line up with the holes on there. Guess if I would look, it might help. But who wants to look? I'd rather have people laugh at me. Go ahead and put the second one on. That one slides right on now that we know what we're doing. And we're going to go ahead and put the 2 screws in, and we do not want to over tighten these. I'm going to go ahead and insert the 4 screws in. The cool thing so far, which doesn't always happen when we're building kits, is we are down to where it says open bag B on the next step. And what's so cool about that is that we don't have any leftover parts. So either we're doing something right here, or they didn't mispackage anything, which is, either way, is cool. Okay, so we just about have these ends put on, and we're going to go ahead and move to step 9. So I'm going to shut the camera off, just like I always do in between steps, and we're going to go ahead and place all of the pieces that we need for the next process. We're going to go ahead and open up bag B. See all sorts of fun stuff in here. Going to get out our little bucket so we don't lose anything. Make sure bag B is empty. Nothing like leaving parts in a bag and wondering where they're at. Okay, we got shock parts. Looks like we have some axle or some drive shaft ends here. So we're going to go ahead and open this up because I see that in the next step. I'm going to dump it all out. We got a bunch of springs which we're going to have to pull apart, and some spacers and whatnot. Looks like we have some plastic drive shaft ends here. Got some wonderful 30 weight axial oil. Looks like we're going to be building some shocks here sometime soon, because we also have a bag of shock parts. So, moving on to the next step here. We are going to take what it looks like to be one of the metal little ends for the drive shaft, and we're going to take tree number 11, part number 1 and 2. Looks like we actually need 2 of these. So we need, and also another thing that we haven't run into on the instructions too, on step number 10 it says ×2. So that means we're going to be doubling up on this process and doing it twice. So we're going to go ahead and start with one side, and then we'll go ahead and move to the next. Looks like these are part number 3, but it's only saying we need part number 1 and 2. So we won't take that off. Got some nubs here. We're going to go ahead and clean those little puppies off. Another nub here. Oh, this is going to be fun, I can tell already. We have to take the little pins on this guy, see if we can focus here, the little pins on here that are open, and get them into the end here. There are little grooves in here, but these are pretty thick, so somebody out there has probably got a secret for this, but I'm going to just try to put one of those in, and you guys don't want me to turn the camera off while I do this, do you? You're going to want to laugh at me. I know there's got to be an easy way to do this. I'm going to try to start and press. There we go. I got one end pressed in a little bit there. You can see this end is pressed in, and this end isn't, but I'm assuming that I can bend that over and press it in, and it's going to go. I'm going to quit working for the camera and try to do this without stabbing it through my finger. And I know it can be done. Let's set it against the edge of the table here. Try to force it in. Well, that's not working. It does have a little bit of give. It's just a matter of getting it to do its thing here. So we'll try something new. Problem is, there we go, it keeps trying to cock over on the side. But there we go, we got it in. We can see the pin sticking out here. It's even and flush, and the pin over here is nice and even and flush. So now that I made a fool out of myself, I know how to do it for the second one. It looks like we are going to need to do the second one. I'm going to put it on the other end. If you take a look at these tubes, they slide together, and that's what allows them to expand as you're driving and your suspension is doing its thing. These things can move in and out, but we need to put one of these little universal joints, I guess that's what they're called, on each end. So I'm going to go ahead and do this one. See if we learned anything or not. Probably not. I'm pretty stupid that way. By the time I'm done building this, I'll know how to do it, but until then, we're going to try to shove one of those sides in. I'm a spaz. Yeah, secret would just get one side going in, and the problem is that as you're trying to put pressure down on this thing, it's rocking back and forth, and it's just kind of hard to get the proper leverage. So maybe if I stick an Allen wrench in there to keep it from swiveling, that might work. Let's try that. Yeah, doesn't work. There we go. Just press down on it. That one went in a little bit easier. You get the feel for it, but you do want to make sure that they're pressed all the way in. And these slide together, and I guess we're just going to set these to the side for now. I'm going to go ahead and not put you through the pain of watching me do the other set, but we're going to go ahead and build the second set because the directions say ×2. So I'm going to build that, and we'll be right back.
Do not touch the operational end of the device. Do not look directly at the operational end of the device. Do not submerge the device in liquid, even partially.